Hey neighbors, and welcome back to Arden's design series. I'm Caitlin. I live in this beautiful community and am the owner of Banyan Design, a local design firm. We are back with part 2 of our 3-part video series to help you transform your brand new Arden home into your dream space. So I'm very excited to bring you today's video. We are in the beautiful Tarragon model of Lennar and wanted to say a big heartfelt thank you to Lennar for opening up their doors for us today. Today we're going to be covering some very heavy-hitting information on space planning. So whether you're brand new and just moved into this awesome community, or maybe you've lived here a while and you're putting some finishing touches on your home, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. You'll have a house full of boxes, lots of empty walls, and no idea how to make that look like your Pinterest board. So today we're going to be sharing some tips and tricks that'll help you make those decisions. So without further ado, let's jump on in and see what we can find. So to start us off today, let's look at a few common design principles. While design is absolutely an art and all about catering to your specific style, there are a few core principles that you can apply to help transform any space into something that looks as beautiful as the space we're in now. So one of the first design principles to master is symmetry. Using the principles of symmetry will help ground your space and create balance. There are 3 main types of symmetry in design. There's reflection, which is bilateral symmetry, radial symmetry, which circles around a common point and radiates outward, and asymmetry. Each can be used in design to create strong points of interest and visual stability. For example, if you have an accent chair on one side of your sofa, you can play with the idea of balancing that with another chair or piece of furniture. The pieces don't exactly need to match, they just need to coordinate and create similar visual weights, bringing balance to that space. The next is rhythm. Just as in music, rhythm in design is all about creating patterns of repetition and contrast to create visual interest. You can achieve this by using the same color or shape in different intervals. Its purpose is to move your eye around the room. For instance, you can establish rhythm by using a color in pillows, picking that up in a painting, and echoing that in a rug, just as in this room. These repetitions will help carry your eye around the space and create harmony. So we have a saying in design, function is always first. This is a very important one because once you know how you want to use a space, you can really find the perfect design that matches your aesthetic and your style. The second thing is to find inspiration. Now this is the really fun part. I typically recommend that clients start very broad and then you narrow it down. So whether it's Pinterest or Instagram or wherever you find your inspiration, save everything that you like for that specific space. Then start to cull down what items specifically you like about the pictures you've selected. Is it a certain chair? Is it a style? Is it the texture of the rug? Once you have that narrowed down, you can start to create a list and really help give you some specific ideas when you're shopping. The next step is going to be to measure the space. I always recommend you don't have to get super fun or crazy here. Just get a normal piece of paper and a ruler and just spec out the size of your room. If you have a rectangular room, you're going to want to start with a rectangular shape on your paper and so forth if you have a square room. Once you have an idea of the dimensions of your room, you're going to want to actually measure each wall and also remember the architectural elements, your doors, windows, cutouts, anything like that. Once you have a clear idea of that space, you can start to think of the furniture pieces and decor pieces you want to put within that space that's going to help with the function of your space. For example, in this loft, even though it's a relatively smaller space, they've planned it out very well so you have size for a full sofa, 2 desks, plenty of places to play games and chat and enjoy a movie. Once your space is all measured out and you have an idea of what you want in it, you can start to play with the design. This is where it gets fun and a lot easier than having to move furniture a bunch of times once you have everything trying to cram it in the space. So this is a time where you play with the TV on different walls, where you're going to put the sofa, where your seating areas are going to be. I always recommend to clients that you come up with 2 key designs, 2 of your absolute favorites. And there's a really good reason for this. You might start shopping and then you fall in love with a piece and it's too big for the design that you specified, or maybe something's out of stock or not coming in for another 3 years because furniture can take some time. So that being said, have a few favorites. That way, if you do see something you fall in love with, it can easily fit into one of your 2 favorite designs. And now the fun part. Now you get to shop the room. The fun thing about you already narrowing down the function, how it's gonna look and operate, is it'll make shopping a lot easier. This is the funnest part of our jobs as interior designers, but it's also the most cumbersome because there are literally millions of options out there. So in order to have it be something that's really fun for you to do, I recommend when you're shopping, whether that's online or in-store, you take your specification sheets that you've created, and you can even type those into your online retailer, and it'll really help narrow down your search. Once you've purchased, then you put them in your house, you enjoy the space, and most clients think it ends there. Well, design is a lot like your life. It needs to be fluid. It needs to be able to adapt and change with your lifestyle. So I always recommend, as a really fun way to kind of freshen up your look, you want to be able to have certain items like throw pillows are a really great example, or accessories that you can either change out seasonally or every few years, or even repurpose to other areas in the home to help give consistently a fresh look to your space. I get questions from clients all the time about art. Art seems to be one of the toughest things to accessorize with. So I thought we'd cover a little bit of how to pick the right art piece for your room, and how specifically to hang art, and then what to do with multiple art groups or art gallery walls. So let's walk around, let's see what we can find, and we'll look at some specifics on how to perfectly hang art in your space. Our final tip in space planning is accessorizing. This is something that is so fun, but often gives clients a lot of anxiety. In general, if you follow these simple rules, you can really spruce up any space and make it look spectacular. We always want to make sure that you have a few different varieties of items when you're accessorizing. I always recommend something cozy, something with a little bit more texture or maybe a sheen, and most importantly, something personal to you. Maybe it's something fun from your travels or a favorite family photograph. So if you apply these to your space, I think you'll be very happy with the result. So thank you so much, neighbors, for joining me today. I hope that this was helpful in giving you the confidence to design your perfect dream space. Just remember, design is a journey. It should be fun, take your time, make sure it's unique to you, and utilize the tips we went over today, and I'm sure it'll come out beautifully. So we will look forward to seeing you next time on our third video of our series, and until then, stay inspired. See you guys next time.